I'll just talk about the tone of the book. It is not a gentle book. The subtitle, I think, Truth in Advertising, right? How white evangelicals corrupted a faith and fractured a nation. So gloves are off. And then the chapter titles, kind of your next clue, right? So we have what Holy Balls is a favorite, crowd pleaser. Why We Want to Kill You. John Wayne Will Save Your Ass. I could go on. And yes, the tone was very intentional. I mean, it wasn't kind of scheming in that this was simply the way the words came onto the page. This was the book I had to write that, and it came out exactly as I intended. But I did consider tone because it is very different from the books that evangelicals write for themselves.
Right.
I was very intentional about going outside of Christian publishing to write this book. So have a wonderful publisher, Norton's Live Right imprint. They're known for kind of their edgy political writings. And evangelicals are a primary audience, but not the primary audience for this book. This is a work of history. So my whole publishing team was kind of outside of the evangelical world. So it was a real discipline for me to have to, rewrite and communicate kind of outside of the insider speak. So I think that's sometimes a misperception for evangelicals who have embraced this book, that they think it was written for them. And it was, but not exclusively for them. So yes, then the tone was intentionally disruptive as a woman writing, because I had seen through my research just time and again how deference was shown to those who wielded power. Undue deference, in my opinion. I just saw so many cases where, really harsh and damaging teachings and actions were either condoned or kind of just dismissed, treated lightly. And, you could still pat the guy in the back and call him brother in Christ. I saw that so many times. And I began to really, that phrase started to be triggering to me, brother in Christ. Like there's so much power that conveys, and it's exclusive. Who gets to be counted as a brother in Christ, and what privileges go along with that? I mean, I will never get called that as a woman. That's not going to be, I'm not going to get that. Hey, brother in Christ. And again, so I watched this, and I watched how undue deference ended up facilitating abuses, theological abuses, sexual abuses, and really seemed to constrain the white evangelical community writ large. People who have known better have decided not to speak out boldly against abuses, again, of all sorts. There has been so much kind of quietism in the name of self-protection, in the name of protecting donor or donations and subscribers, and not wanting to risk and not wanting to offend. And so it was a very intentional decision on my part to not play that game, to not participate in that deference, and to make it very clear from the front cover all the way through the book that this was something different. I was just going to speak as powerfully as I could and tell the truth, whether evangelicals would pick up the book or not. Because frankly, with this subtitle, there's a real question if they would. and then at the same time, I mean, they are reading it. And so, and they're reading in great numbers. And so that is a source of huge encouragement to me. And I think that's what makes this book so different, right? It is unflinching in terms of, let's talk about this. Let's really talk about it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, because really, this is not the time for sugarcoating.